Okay, here we go. Team Talk. Here we go with Kelly Petrahovich. We're really excited to have Kelly with us tonight. And I'm going to unmute Kelly. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, guys.
Nice.
So we jump right into it. And Kelly, I'm going to have you just tell your story, and then we're going to ask you some questions and give us some insight into your perspective on things. So you can go ahead and take it away, Kelly.
Both product and business story, just product or?
Yeah, you can start product and business.
Okay. So product story, 3 years ago, growing up, I was on antidepressants, and through the years that began to be kind of normal for me. I took it from 8th grade all the way through high school and all the way into my early college years. When I heard about Juice Plus, I was still on my medication. I was also on antibiotics very frequently. My hair stopped growing. I was really, really struggling to find energy. I would nap every day. My parents would ask me, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm tired." And I was a full-time student. I was planning a wedding and bartending and waitressing. So that probably didn't help. But, I wasn't a picky eater. Just eating whole foods was not practical for my busy schedule. I think that's common for a lot of people, but I didn't know how many fruits and vegetables I needed. I didn't know why. And my best friend, Christy Barnes, a lot of you know her. She was having a lot of health issues, and she got really healthy out of nowhere and started sharing with me what it was. And it was Juice Plus that was really helping her. And I was skeptical. My sister, Elena, actually got started first. And, Elena was having a great experience. I was like, okay, I'll listen to what Chrissy's been telling me. And so I got started. And it was one of the best decisions, of course, that I've ever made for my health. It really was the door opener, the catalyst for my health journey. I started craving more fruits and vegetables, but for myself, I noticed my energy was back. And that led to the mental fog was gone. I was less anxious. I added in the complete shake, and I wasn't skipping breakfast anymore. I'm on my way to class. And so my health changed, and I was naturally and eventually I weaned myself off my antidepressants for the first time in my life. And so just really getting my health back. And I naturally started to share that with everyone in my life. And before I knew I had a business, I shared it with my mom. I shared it with my best friend and my sister. And that's kind of how I plant the seed of sharing with people, because I think we start to think about, of course, our loved ones when we're feeling so great. And so, transitioning into my business story, I had that experience. I was naturally sharing that. And so it made sense for me to pay the $50 and get them started. And Chrissy called me and she's like, "Kelly, you made your first promotion." I'm like, what? I did? I didn't really ask questions about the business. Wasn't looking for a business, nor did I know how to run a business. But it kind of happened over time. And so fast forward, here we are 3 years later, coming up on my graduation for college. I was dragged to the Jacksonville boot camp in February, and this was, the last semester of my senior year. And I'm so thankful because I almost didn't go because of finances. But my business was just kind of growing. I was having a lot of fun, and then we got married, and here was a lot of bills that I wasn't used to. But the more we started to think about me and John as a married couple and what we want our future to look like, I'm so thankful that I went to that boot camp, because it was the extra shot in the arm that I needed to keep going and putting one foot in front of the other. And so I went, and it was the perfect time because it really, I started doing the DMO. I started to, really do the high paying activity and catching a lot of vision, especially after Anaheim, coming up on graduation, because that was the hot topic, of course, senior year. Like, well, now what? What do you want to do? And I knew I wanted to help people, but I just didn't know how or what career that would be. I knew I had a side hustle. I had a side business that I really enjoyed. And everything I was learning in my bachelor's of science, my degree with public health, Juice Plus seamlessly fit into that. And so I would share with my classmates, and graduation came, and that's when I kind of reality hit that, I got hired after my internship. I was very, very excited because I really enjoyed my internship. I really did. But come to find out, the employment side was just, it was really sad because I was only getting paid $10 an hour with a college degree. That was my first job in my field. And so we just prayed about it, and we felt a lot of peace that, this was put in my life for a reason. And I think now, before kids is really, and school being one less responsibility, now's the time to go all in and to put, because I've been doing it, somewhat intentionally, but it's been more DMO activity and being very intentional the last couple months since I left that job. And so, yeah, that's really kind of transitioning into my business story. And so just coming up on senior sales, I still can't believe it because I was a sales coordinator for 3 years. So it's still, I'm like, wow. But that's really my story.
So was the point where you kind of went all in, right? You decided like, okay, this career thing is not going to be it for me. This isn't my next 30 years. And
yes.
So when you went all in, talk a little bit about like how that changed for you in your head, or how does it look different? Like how does your daily day look different? How do you approach the business differently?
So, yeah, I mean, when I made the decision after 2 weeks of being in this job, just trading a lot of time for very little money. And of course, just coming home from conference, like God's timing so perfect because I was like, okay, you know, I really feel like I caught so much vision in Anaheim and at the boot camp, you know, within those couple of months. And so I knew that DMO thing worked. I just didn't do it consistently. And so I really started being intentional with my team. We would fill it out together and hold each other accountable. We were reaching out to 2 new people or more a day. I started, Heather and I did a lot of events because she had just gotten stationed here from Hawaii. And so we were excited to be together physically, have my buddy, because she's always kind of been my buddy. All my sisters were. But for Heather to be here physically, we started doing in-person events. Then we would do online events. And so my DMO and just really planting a lot of seeds with people. And I think getting more comfortable, it really wasn't until the last year and a half that I've become more comfortable with sharing about our opportunity and our business. I think I was always kind of nervous about that. But for what happened with me, having, you know, what it turned into, and thankfully having that option to say, you know what, I don't, like a lot of my college friends right now are stuck in these jobs with not a high pay at all, or they graduated and they're looking for a job. And so I'm so thankful that I had this and building the way it was. And so I just really, you know, I was becoming more bold and sharing about the opportunity. And I was just sprinkling all these seeds. And then I was watering all these seeds. And then team just kind of started coming out of it. And so I think it was just the mindset for myself to be like, okay, everyone's looking for, I feel like now, an extra source of income. And so I just started being more bold with planting the seed of the business along with sharing Juice Plus. I kind of went into experience, share, join, and just after talking about the product, and the seed was planted. And so DMO with the new people and kind of bringing them to events and doing what I could to continue that.
So DMO is daily method of operation. I know we have some newer people on here. And
yes.
So you're doing and from the mission-driven model, there's a DMO planner, and it lists out all the things you should be doing. So a typical day for you, what does it look like right now?
So right now, since Juice Plus is my only thing, I've just been really intentional to get, you know, because I have the time, I would make coffee dates. I'd make sure I'd have scheduled stuff throughout the week, coffee dates, smoothie dates. I'd go to small group just to do, you know, to still get out of the house and to meet new people, small group, with my church. And, you know, adding these new relationships into my DMO, but then continuing going down to the new people. And then I would follow up with, you know, the people that I speak to previously. And then I was inviting to 3-way calls and doing events. And so having that consistent activity definitely paid off. I felt crazy. You know, it's funny because I was juggling so much when I was building this. And now that school's a less responsibility and I was able to leave the restaurant because of my check, just doing Juice Plus, it still has been, it's been very good because I've been using that DMO sheet to give me like a schedule for every day and really trying to time block too, to be productive and stay, you know, continuously building.
Yeah. I love that you use that, well, I love the fact that you're doing it now. And I think the reason we always do things is because of our vision for things. So you have, you know, sometimes we call it a why or whatever, but you know, you have vision that this is what you're going to do. So you're approaching it a little bit differentently. So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So I love
working like my income depends on it.
Yeah, exactly. So Joni mentioned she loves just that word side hustle. That's kind of cool. So a lot of us are curious because, you know, you're just out of college and we all talk to a lot of people that are in your age demographic. So we all want to kind of understand a little bit more.
Yeah.
Does your generation, like, how does your generation and your peers feel about like having businesses and side things? And tell us a little bit about that.
I feel like nowadays everyone is looking for an extra source of income. In my generation specifically, I think the options of like time freedom and being creative, owning your own thing is very appealing. But yeah, I mean, I think a side hustle, because either they're driving Uber or they're, delivering pizza, or they're selling a lot of stuff on Swip Swap. It's like whatever you want to call it. It's like a side way of getting a side hustle, something to get extra income, an extra stream of income. And so for $50, instead of going out for drinks and dinner, you can buy yourself a business. And I think for people in my generation, especially if I kind of mention how I started, I was just thinking about my best friend, mom and sister. And that kind of gets their gears turned. They're like, oh, I don't have to know all these things to really start a business. And I've noticed my team members get excited once they do get those, best friend, mom and sister, or your dad, or whoever, your brother and your best friend. Once they get started, they realize it's not that difficult. And then before you know it, and that's what I said for my story, that's how I started, and it just grew. And so I think so many people my age, especially with this generation, just graduating college, and we're having such a hard time finding a job, or they find a job and it's just low pay. That's when I really express life happens. You just don't know. And to have we have something to bridge the gap in our health, but also to bridge the gap in our finances, which is kind of like a safety net, just like we call our product. That's exactly what our business is a safety net, because I would have been miserable sticking it out at that job.
Yeah.
Especially wanting kids. And I know that's not every mom's dream, but for me, I would like to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I started to catch that vision. If I can just build this to NMD, and then by the time we do start to have kids, I will have something that will be a very lucrative way of income.
That's
for
great.
me to stay home.
Well, Jules, do you want to ask that question, or you want me to?
I know. I see. I'm on my phone, so I'm like, I see some chats pop.
Oh, here she comes.
But
I'm a Kelly fan.
I'm a Jules fan.
Well, I just asked. I wanted to know if you're ever introducing the business before the product or with the product.
So I've been doing it together. I have not done that I can recall business first. I've been really introducing the three-way calls. That might be jumping ahead of myself, but introducing when someone's asked me about Juice Plus, I share my product story really quick, really concise. And I said, when I started experiencing that, I naturally started to share that with my friends and my family, or I say my best friend, mom and sister, because that's really how I started. And for $50, it just made sense. And so I'm planting the seed of that nugget of $50, because I think right now, since so many people are bombarded with all these different opportunities, when they hear ours is so inexpensive, and I'm like, and for no inventory, I build a business. They're like, and that seed's just planted, and I just let it go. And if they come back to me in that conversation, well, wait, so tell me more about that, then I'll explain. If not, I'll just let that seed be planted. And when an event comes around, I'll make sure to invite them to that. But I've noticed with increasing my, the law of averages, with increasing, for every 10 people you talk to, one person says yes, as we know. And so I'm like, okay, if I say at least share and be more bold about the business with me sharing the product too, experience, share, join from the mission driven model. I notice people are more open to learning more about that. So does that answer?
Yeah, no. I like that. I like the idea of saying that $50 right away, sure.
It's it's a good seed, because so many, I think, are so expensive to start up, and then they have to carry inventory, or
yes.
So I think they remember that whenever I'm watering the seed.
I love that. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great. Okay, so you were talking about three-way calls.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit, because we encourage everybody. Three-way calls is a big part of the business. Not everybody really takes advantage of that, though. And I know I had mentioned to you in our Voxer how even for me, it sometimes feels a little weird sometimes to invite and to ask, and because I don't know. So explain to us, how are you inviting the three-way calls? Who do you invite to a three? Do you pre-screen them? Like, how does all that work for you?
So I invite people to a three-way call that either are a raving fan or they mention the cost about Juice Plus, that financial kind of comes up, or someone that really is a dream team member, someone I just know I would really enjoy working with them and doing this with them, doing life with them. And so those are really like my three, areas, or three kinds of people, I guess, prospects that I will invite to meet Julie and hear her story. And I know it can be kind of weird, and it does sound like, oh, like, it's different. That's not common to get on the phone with somebody. Could be kind of weird, but I've had a good response. And I think just there is verbiage on the mission-driven model, not saying upline and just saying, my friend Julie and all that kind of stuff. And I find the commonality between them and Julie. She's a mom just like you, or, she's into health and fitness just like you. But and not everyone gets on, but my goal out of everyone that I talk to is at least like 1 to 2 calls with Julie a week. And my team's been implementing it too. But I remember talking with my friend Sarah that recently just got on a call. I was like, I'm sorry, I guess just being authentic and being like real and just saying, I know that may sound weird, but I know you would really value what she has to say. And I think you guys will really connect. And she was like, no, it's not weird at all. Like, I'm actually really looking forward to it. And I have a couple health questions I want to ask her. So, and I also say that too. I said, if someone is interested in more about the business and, I do share about being a team member kind of thing, then I also say, and feel free to ask her any questions. She's been, this has been a part of her life for 18 years and she's been sharing it for 18 years as well. And so she's a really great resource. So I don't know, it's gone over really well. And I know it could be kind of weird, but for some reason it's working.
How many do you end up doing weekly on average, do you think?
About 2 to 3.
Okay.
2 to 3. I have one. I was talking with the girl today, actually, and she didn't text back, actually. So I was like, crap, maybe she was weirded out. And she actually just got back to me this morning, and said, no, that actually worked. She actually thought we were meeting in person. And she goes, oh, well, I can meet at Starbucks at this time. And I was like, oh, no. I said, it'd be like a 10-minute quick phone call. She goes, actually, that would work a lot better. But it did kind of say a lot about her, the fact that she would be willing to meet in person. But I was like, no, it's a phone call. And I'll be on there too. So...
Okay.
You attend. Okay, sorry.
Okay, and I just forgot my question. Do you have one?
How are you finding these people, Kelly?
Oh, that's what I was
going to How am I finding these people?
Yeah.
A lot of it, social media, and like circling back around. I noticed that. But new people with like small groups with my church, and this boot camp that I just recently joined. And of course we're moving. I'm like, why did I wait so long to join this? But we're moving to West Palm in a couple weeks. I am wanting to hopefully get plugged in, but it's definitely, I noticed a transition, of course, just being home and needing to really be intentional about getting out. But a lot of it was small groups with church and stuff. Just kind of meeting people that way.
So you're doing a lot of stuff that you kind of like, being intentional with the activities you do in life anyway.
Yeah. And I think events too, or go ahead, Doug.
I was going to say, because I noticed Sandy asked, are you mostly sharing with friends or with cold market? So I guess cold market would be people you don't know, like a trade show or something like that. Or are you using more of an expanding your warm market approach?
So the lady that I was actually texting today that didn't get back to me and thought we were meeting in person, I actually don't really know her very well, but we got on the phone. She came to me as a lead. Sorry. She came to me as a lead. So she was already a customer, and she accidentally called me, and I had trouble getting in touch with her. Anyways, we finally got on the phone. I said, hello, Rachel? And she goes, oh, I'm so sorry, because we were just texting. Anyways, long story short, I don't really know her, but I just shared both product and business and it resonated with her. And so, it doesn't, I guess just really sprinkling of the seeds. I didn't really know her very well, but I've just become kind of like, I don't really, more out of like getting out of my own way, and just seeing if, because we found each other on Facebook. I'm like, she looks like someone that would be really interested in this and that I would love to kind of connect with. So, I don't know if that answers the question, but
no, it's
or
good.
if that helps.
It's good.
But a lot of when I really started to do the three-way calls, which it's been very recent, just mostly the past 2 months, a lot of it was, raving fan customers that I'm like, I need to tap into that. I need to be better at my customer care and bringing them to that next step and offering that, because I wasn't for the longest time. They just loved their Juice Plus, and I didn't really give them the opportunity to think about, their mom or their sister or their brother or whatever. And so raving fan customers was what I tapped into. And then of course, anyone that's like an old friend, that's like a dream team member, since I see all my friends on Facebook, and social media is a huge platform. That's really how I built my business the last 3 years, being so busy with school and everything. And so going kind of back through my social media and back to old message and seeing who, is kind of posting about stuff and looking for other little opportunities. I think so many people are right now. And so many different things are coming up in the woodwork. I'm like, what we have is so different from these other things. So just messaging them and sharing with that.
So when you go on social media, you're kind of looking at what people are posting and looking for, somebody that has something you could reach out to, either whether it be sickness or a need or something.
Yes, or like my friend Brittany, she was saying, I'm going to work again, it's so hard to leave my daughter as she looks at me, and she's a new mom. And so, just really getting on social media with intentionality, because it can be such a time waster. There's so many pros and cons to social media. I love and hate it at the same time, but having, just getting on there for intentionality or with intentionality and looking for those that do have a need. So yeah.
And do you find with when dealing with your generation, is it acceptable to just be messaging and texting? And do you not get on the phone as much at all? Do they avoid the phone? What is that all about?
They do. Yes, I think we do. I'm trying to be better at getting on the phone because for like the last 3 years, and even with inviting to three-way calls, the majority of the ones that I've done the last 2 months was through text message. Hey, I know you're loving your Juice Plus. I would love for you to share your story with my friend Julie, but also hear what happened with her and her family. She's a mom just like you, and I think you'd really value what she has to say, but also, feel free to ask her any questions, kind of thing. So, texting has been my go-to, and I probably should be picking up the phone, but I do think with people my age and my generation, we're quick just to like do everything on our phone and be in a text message. Or a message on Facebook. Messenger on Facebook is like my memory jogger.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So a couple of quick questions before we go.
Yes.
What do you choose? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat?
Twitter, no. I don't know. Twitter's never been a good one, but Instagram, so Facebook mostly. And with the viral posting plan, I think that's like a newer thing that came out of the boot camp, the Blue Ridge boot camp, because the algorithms, people don't always, see all of your posts. So if you're posting like at least 3 times a day, which I know seems like a lot, but people aren't really, they're seeing like kind of a, it spreads out. But Instagram's a new one. I know Christy is really taking advantage of Instagram Snap, like the Instagram Insta stories, like really posting and stoking curiosity that way. And she's had a lot of people message her, and I've actually reached out to some potential prospects through, I hashtag mental health and nutrition recently, and I went on Instagram and followed that hashtag and just message splits a couple of the women that I saw hashtag the same thing. And just say, hey, I see that you posted mental health and nutrition. I would love to share my story with you and hear more about why you're interested in that as well. And I actually just did that yesterday. So I think Instagram and Facebook are the two really most used ones. And instead of using Snapchat, use the Insta Snap that they now have, because people are watching that.
Well, I think so everybody doesn't freak out, but I think those are whole different topics we should get into. I mean, we've gotten pretty okay at Facebook over the last, I guess it's only been about 4 or 5 years since we've even started using it for Juice Plus. But I think there are some new things that we need to probably talk about, like Instagram stories and all that kind of stuff. But
that one's newer.
And then final question, if I was going to say I'm going to take away a certain kind of event that you can't do anymore, what would
you can't what?
that you're not going to be able to do a certain kind of event anymore, you know, whether it's a live events or Facebook parties or Zooms or whatever, what would be the last thing you want me to take away? Like, what's the most valuable event to you?
Right now, Facebook events. Right now. I think the mix of both in-person and online is good, but what I've been finding a lot of success with my newest team members, as soon as they sign up, I immediately do like their launch event on Facebook. And Carmen Maxwell, oh my goodness, she helped me with that really when I started to really implement this, because I never did until I started getting all these new team members. I'm like, I can't handle like doing all these in-person events, launching them and helping them. And I'm like, so let's do these Facebook. And I reached out to her because she's done a lot of online, and she shared with me, you know, just really, and it's all the Facebook, it's the Healthy Living Revolution ones. So those have been really good. Like as soon as they sign up, within the next 3 or 4 days, we put one on Facebook.
So it's basically,
and then
okay.
It's kind of like, it's for them to invite their immediate friends and family that they're wanting to share Juice Plus with on Facebook. And we keep it open for a couple of days so that it's convenient for them to go back, scroll, read, and watch. But it's 18 posts, 3 live videos. They share their story, so it gets them comfortable to share their story. But that's a hard one, Doug. I don't know because we love, yeah. I mean, I love the in-person too. These, what I just came from tonight, we're doing it. It's super informal. It's with Dr. Miles and Brian and Deanne Rose and like our whole Jax community. And we have someone get up and share what sets Juice Plus apart. And we make a clear, and they're just saying it like the 3 points: whole food, NSF, and research, and then their story or whatever. And then we have 1 to 2 people share a product story to the room. And then we make a clear transition about, okay, so now we're going to share more about the mission of our company and the strength and longevity of our company. You know, don't worry, we're not going to lock the doors and make you sign up. This is just, you know, as passionate we are as to share the product. We know this opportunity in this company, you know. And so then we transition. And so someone that's senior sales coordinator and above will get up and share about the key points of our company. And so these have been, and then you have happy hour and order food if you want, but no PowerPoint, maybe 1 banner. But we've been doing these twice a month since May, June, July, August. Tonight was the last one. And we decided after tonight, we'll probably go down to once a month. But those also, I like from my DMO, my new people and stuff, and team members, I would then plug them in to come to those. But those have been really, like doing both product and business, have gone really well. So
good. Yeah,
that's a hard question to choose.
We're just ramping those up right now. We just started doing those on Zoom on our team.
Nice.
We've done so far. Well, great, Kelly. This was awesome. I know everybody, they loved it. I'm going to stop the recording and then